Well, hello there, my name is Vinny Voodoo, and if you've been following my channel, or indeed a subscriber, thank you for that, you may know that I predominantly make Warzone videos, but because Warzone doesn't have plunder currently, I decided to try a few other games, and one of the first ones I decided to try was Apex Legends. So I've got a few things to talk about with regards to this, and do keep in mind this is from the point of view of a complete and utter noob when it comes to Apex Legends. I'm not in any way trying to pretend I know anything about this game, but this is really from the perspective of someone who only really plays as a Battle Royale Warzone coming into the game fresh. So let's dip right in. Okay, my first introduction to Apex Legends was not a good start. Why is that, I hear you ask? Well, when you first launch the game for the very first time, you actually get a quite lengthy, unskippable intro and sort of like a tutorial as to what a Battle Royale is and what a gun is and what an operator is. And it's all done in that horrible Dirt 3 style of a kind of DJ kind of thing. Hey guys, look, boy, this is how you can shoot things. Hate it. I hated it. I pressed every single button on my controller. I actually think I went to someone else's house and tried to press buttons on their controller in order to skip it, and you can't. So I was actually initially quite disillusioned by the game from the outset. Here's a tip to developers: don't do that. Don't assume that everyone's a complete and utter noob. Whilst I'm a noob to the game, I'm not in any way a noob to the actual concept of doing that. So I don't need to be told that by some idiot. However, the game only got better from there. Now, one of the reasons I've really not actually bothered with Apex Legends, other than the fact that I was, concentrating on Warzone, was because its look. Now, in all of the promo videos, in the loading screen, and indeed in the cinematic in-game, which I'll put on screen now, you'll notice it's got a stylized look to it. It kind of looks like something between Dishonored and Borderlands. It's got that kind of like cel-shady kind of look. I don't dislike that look, but it really wasn't for me. I was after something gritty and real, something like Warzone. And so I never played the game because I thought it looked like Fortnite, I thought it looked cartoony. It doesn't look like that in the actual game. So I don't know if they intended originally for it to look like that, and then they changed their mind, because in-game, as you can see here in the firing range, it just looks like a standard set of graphics, kind of vibrant and stuff, and I'll touch on that in a moment, but it doesn't look stylized in terms of it looking like a cartoon. Metals look like metal. In fact, they look very metally and excellent, and rocks look like rocks. They don't just look like bits of clay. So that was another reason why I actually hadn't bothered. So if that's put you off, the game doesn't look like that. I'll show some footage here of me actually playing in an actual match, and you can quite clearly see it doesn't look like their intro videos show. So don't let that put you off. And speaking of graphics, let's talk about that for a moment. One of the first things I noticed in the firing range here is every single gun and every single operator, every single attachment and so on is available to you laid out right here. I wish more games did this so you can test everything before you go into battle. And it actually showcases the vibrancy of this game. Sure, it looks a bit like Horizon Zero Dawn up there, but then you come down here and you've got all of these colors, and it's not overly done. Like I say, it's not that stylized look. It's just bright and colourful, and I'm using a PS4 Pro here. If you're on the current gen system, it probably looks even better than this. And also it's got some fantasy elements to it too. It's not all industrial. There's an actual set of world building here. Oh, one extra note is you can put your gun away. I wish more shooting games allowed you to do that so you can run faster. And yeah, if you come over here in the firing range, you might not have even noticed this, but in the background are all these monsters, creatures just moving around. Like I say, it's a world building thing. It gives you a feel that you're actually in an environment. There are places in the distance. Obviously you can't get to them, although I have tried. And yes, the graphics in this game are actually suited to the game because of the way that the game looks and works. I really like it. And one final note in the firing ranges, as I said, you can try every gun and every attachment and so on. You can also try every legend, which is Apex Legends version of operators. And I have a legend here, and if you'll notice down the middle there, he has a grappling hook. In fact, he has two grappling hooks. I've got this one, which will just bring me to closer to places, and I've got a setup one where I can actually put out a zip line for colleagues. So say I stick it up there, I can now use that. Now, this is a special that only this operator has, and each operator has their own unique thing. Some have bombing raids, kind of like raining down on the enemy, and some you can set up portals, and so on. In fact, the game even lets you try out the legends, all of them. Even ones you haven't unlocked in the firing range, you can actually try out right here. So these are the ones I currently have available in the actual game if I'm actually playing a match, and these are all locked. But for the purposes of the firing range, I can just select them.
That was a nice communion with you.
And there we go. Really nice, really thoughtful, and it also gives you a chance to practice, as I said, before you go into a match. And speaking of matches, let's talk about that. And here we are on the opening screen. Now, if you've got a mate or two playing, they'll be either side of you on this screen if you've got people in your squad. And the max you can have in your squad is currently 3. Now, I'll whiz through this real quickly. Now, at the top here, we have seasonal, which is actually the limited time mode, a bunch of stuff that you can get there. There's offers, there's the battle pass, and so on. Then we have legends, which is our operators screen. And from here, you can actually check to see what people can do in terms of their skill. Like, for example, Bangalore here has rolling thunder, calling an artillery strike that slowly creeps across the landscape. In the previous clip, I was using Pathfinder, which actually has the zipline gun, and each one of these has a unique skill. So you can actually go through, for example, that's the medic, and that'll help heal your buddies. So think of it more like Battlefield than Warzone in terms of the operators, because they each have a unique ability there. Now let's go back out to Loadout. Standard stuff, submachine guns, shotguns, sniper rifles, and so on. Here you can actually check them out, and they're actually at the top here: Alienator, Prowler, R99. Now, don't ask me what the differences are, because I don't know. But if you go to the firing range, you can take each one out and try it and see if there's one there that you really like, and there's some sort of attachment combination there that also works for you. And of course, you also have skins here that you can apply to the gun, which I'm assuming you'll earn in game or can buy in the store. Speaking of which, there it is, and that's the usual stuff: skins and guns and charms and so on. And finally, we have club, which is like a regiment that you can actually create to add friends to, and then make your club the best club in the world. Let's go back to the play screen here. Now, what about the game modes themselves? Well, let's talk about that. And with any battle royale, or rather multiplayer game, it lives or dies by the type of game modes you have. And in fact, in this game, you only have 2 generally. There are 3 currently, and it looks like there's a lot more, but I'll explain that in a moment. There is a limited time mode called Control that won't normally be there. So let's pretend it isn't, and we'll just talk about the 2 game modes that are currently normally available in Apex Legends. One's Apex Games Battle Royale, and one's Arena. In the Battle Royale, you can select duos or trios, and obviously if you've only got 2 of you, you should select duos, and it's standard Battle Royale stuff. You fly in, last squad standing wins. It's not necessarily a mode I'll probably ever play. Next to that is a ranked battle royale, and then we have arenas. Now this is more interesting to me. It's 3 versus 3 team deathmatch. First to 5 rounds wins, and it's got a map rotation down the bottom there, and you actually get to see quite a large amount of variety in those maps. Next to that is the ranked arena, where you have to be level 20. Same exact mode, it's just ranking you against other players around the world. So the only 2 modes you really need to worry about is arenas, which is what I'm currently playing, and battle royale, which is what I'm currently not playing, which is strange to think that in a battle royale game I don't actually play the main mode, but that's true of Warzone. I don't play battle royale in Warzone either. So these are the 2 modes there in the actual game. Why don't we back out and sum up? And there we are. This is a viewpoint of someone who's never played the game before. I've had about 8 games in total, but I am experienced, obviously, with Warzone, and I wanted to give that viewpoint of a Warzone player coming in fresh to a brand new game. It's vibrant, it's exciting, it's fun, and that's probably the most important thing about it. And I'm actually looking forward to making some new videos as and when I become less of a noob with it. So if you're playing Warzone and DMZ isn't cutting it for you, and you don't like battle Battle Royale, I would heartily recommend Apex Legends for a change of pace and a change of visuals. And if there's anything I've missed out majorly, and I'm sure there's a lot, leave me a comment and let me know. And if you're enjoying it and you're thinking of jumping to Warzone the other way, also let me know what you think about that in the comments too. That's it from me. I hope this has been of interest. My name's Vinny Voodoo, and thanks for watching.
This is where it ends.